So you finally saved up some money and you want to invest. All your friends are telling you like, oh, you should buy this, you should invest here, you should do this, you should do that. But as soon as you tell them that you have just 1,000 to invest, everyone is telling you like, what? Just 1,000? That's not good enough. That's not gonna be enough to invest or like to do anything. But what if I told you that it is actually more than enough, and it's a perfect place where to start? In this video, I'm gonna explain what I will do if I will start over with just 1,000 and how I will invest this amount of money. The thing is that we all know how difficult it is to actually make money and how easy it is to spend them. But I'm not talking about like spending for fun things or things like that, but just think about rent, groceries, and many other things. Then you have the other big thing that makes you lose your money, which is the inflation. But what is actually inflation? So you want to buy something that costs 100 and you have 1,000 in your pocket. You know, I don't want to buy it right now, but I'm gonna buy it next year. Next year you go and to get this good and you see that it doesn't cost 100, but it costs 102 or 105, but you still have your 1,000 there. So this is the very big thing, which is the inflation. But what if I told you that there is a solution to this? And it is actually investing. Yeah, but it's just 1,000. That's not enough. It's not a good place to start. Let's say that yes, this is not a good amount. It's not gonna be enough, but it's still better than zero. And just imagine this. What if I told you that one of your friends now, or someone that you know, owns you 100 bucks? How would you feel? So if you think that 100 are still gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna be impacted at all by that, 1,000, it's 10 times that. So it's a lot of money. And the most important thing is that if you start with just 1,000, you can actually build a habit of investing. Maybe not all of them all together, but start to invest slowly at a time. The famous 100, starting every month or like every 2 months or every quarter. And also, according to behavioral economics, us humans, we hate losing. Like it causes physical pain. Seeing this money that they move from your pocket to an investment portfolio, it's not going to be as heavy as seeing 1,000 moved straight away. You can tell me now that, okay, maybe, yes, you're right, okay, but still, what should I do now? Because everyone is telling me that if you want to invest, you should invest to make a lot of money to become
Rich! Millionaire! Millionaire!
What should I do now? Even though all these options can cause you a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, let's say that the most important thing that we're gonna do with the money is to actually keep them and keep their value. So 1,000, they're gonna stay 1,000. So if by any chance prices are gonna go up by 2%, our goal is gonna be to have that money that are gonna go up by 2, 3, or maybe 4%. Here we're not gonna be talking about becoming rich millionaires with this, but we're gonna protect ourselves from the inflation. So that's gonna be the main goal, especially because let's face it, it's kind of really difficult, almost impossible to turn from 1,000 to 1 million. So here's what I will do if I will start over with just 1,000. I will definitely not get into cryptos or things like this, because if you want to invest in that, I don't think that that's actually investing, but it's almost gambling unless, stay with me, unless you're actually an expert in what are you doing. So if you are actually an expert into cryptos, and by expert, I don't mean that you watch 2 videos about how they work and you feel like, okay, now I know and how to invest that. So that's not being an expert. But if you know 100% what you're doing, that you do you know better than me at this point. But if you want to do something, I will not invest in cryptos and I will not just buy one stock, but I will buy many stocks. Stay with me. Why should you buy just the stock of one company when you can invest in the whole market, in the whole economy? What if you could invest in the best economy in the world, which is the American one that has been in the past and still today is still the best one? Well, that thing is actually the S&P 500, which is basically the American economy. Let's say that this is not the most exciting topic to talk about it, because like the S&P 500 is something that is more lay down, more chill, more, let's say you put your money there and you kind of forget about that. But the concept of the S&P 500 is that you can invest in the top 500 most capitalized companies in the US. So instead of buying just one stock of Microsoft, you can buy a little bit of Microsoft, a little bit of Apple, Nvidia, Home Depot, and so many others. And also the very amazing thing about the S&P 500 is the fact that it gives an average of 7% increase a year. Wait a sec, doesn't mean that your investment is going to grow by 7% every year, but on average, if you look on a time frame of 5, 10, 20 years, then almost the increase is going to be of 7%. There are going to be some moments that are going to be quite intense, as you can see from the graph here. That was, let's say, the crash of 2008, crash caused by the pandemic. But if we look at the bigger picture, we can see that the graph continues to grow and grow and grow. If you invest in something like this with a long-term perspective, then your money is going to be covered by the inflation. And here's what I will do in this case, starting with just 1,000. I will invest almost 70 or almost 80% into the S&P 500, and the rest of it I will keep it cash. Wait a sec, but like you just said that like don't keep it cash, the inflation, like it's not good, you're gonna lose value. Yes, that's still true, but the thing is that you never know what can happen in life. And maybe it's not going to happen to you, but maybe to your close friend, maybe to your family. And it's always good to have a little bit of cash for every type of emergency. Being able to invest that much amount into the S&P 500, it's going to be really good. At the same time, being able to have that money that you know that are there in case of everything, maybe for something really good, but also for something that could be really bad, you have that and it's going to be there. And definitely, if you still don't gonna use them, they're just gonna be like 20 or 30% of what you actually would be investing. So it's still a little bit of money, not that much, but still something that can actually help you in a difficult moment. There are many ETFs that track the S&P 500. So I would suggest you to just choose one and to stick with that one, to not like just buy many S&P 500, because at that point you might actually lose money on the fees that you have to pay. So in this case, I will choose the one that has the lowest fees, and then with the rest of the money, which can be the 20 and 30%, I will keep it cash. So you can build a habit and you also can protect yourself from inflation. And yeah, this is how I will invest my very first 1,000. If you find this video helpful, just subscribe, it's free, and we're almost at 15 subscribers. Maybe we're gonna be able to reach that very soon, who knows. And thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it a lot, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.